You may have heard of sexting, when someone sends sexually explicit messages and photos, usually on cell phones. But what you may not have heard is that sexting is not always by choice. And new tonight, a new Indiana University study shows how serious this problem has become.
News 4's Colin Gray joins us now to share the eye-opening report. Colin?
Jackie, Don, the study claims trauma experienced by someone pressured into sexting when they really don't want to be doing it may be worse than trauma from physical sexual assaults. I found out it may be more complicated than that.
Sexting is a trend that continues to grow.
Especially when people are in some of the hooking up culture, there's some confusion around boundaries and how to engage in relationships.
Robin Wiktorski Reynolds, director at Crisis Services in Buffalo, says the boundaries should be black and white, but researchers at Indiana University found more people are being forced to sext. They interviewed 480 men and women, and 1 in 5 said they were coerced into sexting at some point. And the study claims being forced to sext could cause even more trauma than physical sexual assaults.
Upon further review of it, it was really clear that the sexting piece is part of a broader context of violence.
Wiktorski Reynolds says it usually goes hand in hand with other acts of violence in a relationship, and the study backs that up.
The fact that those images then are sent out into cyberspace really compounds the loss of control that survivors of any type of sexual violence already experience.
One reason trauma experienced could be higher for victims of sexting coercion. Wiktorski Reynolds says it's also important to remember everyone experiences trauma differently.
We reached out on Facebook to see what people around here think about this issue, and here are a few of the responses we got. Julie says, nobody can force you to do something you don't want to do. That's a lame excuse in my opinion. While Heather Young says it's easier to fall victim than you might think. She says, I believe it. Yes, we are supposed to be adults by the time we start college, but too many kids are busy learning books to become self-confident enough to avoid the pressures of the sexual world. I myself have fallen victim to the send me a nude text from someone I liked. Lesson learned that no longer happens. Crisis Service did tell us that this growing trend can be helped by teaching no means no, and if you've been a victim of any kind of sexual assault, you can call the center's hotline at 834-3131. Reporting live, Colin Gray, News 4.